Today I'm talking about what to do with friends that shame you. Now, what do I mean by this? I'm talking about maybe you've chosen to make a healthy lifestyle change, perhaps to eat a little bit better or to work out, or maybe you're doing a sugar detox, or perhaps you've lost some weight. And we all have that friend that kind of makes those backhanded compliments, but you're like, what was that? It kind of makes you think a little bit after. Or, they make those comments like, oh, you're eating rabbit food again? Or, oh, you lost all that weight, you look fabulous. I could never do a sugar detox like you. And all those comments like, oh, you just have the cookie. You'll be fine this time. Don't even worry about it. Now, of course, I have my own personal story to go along with this. Now, just in case you're new here, let me quickly introduce myself. My name is Renee Paulson, and I'm a recovered food and sugar addict and also a healthy living and nutrition coach. I struggled with my weight for years, as well as food and sugar addiction, and especially during those postpartum and young baby years when I had my little babies at home. Holy schmoly. It wasn't until I tried to do my first sugar detox that I realized how highly addicted I was to sugar. And since then have worked on developing tools and recovery to learn moderation and have a healthy relationship with food. Of course, since then I've lost over 100 pounds and kept it off, and now I teach those same tools to women all over the world on how to get healthy and lose weight for good. Okay, let me tell you my story about being friend shamed. And I never really thought about this until I was smaller. However, looking back now, retrospectively, when I was overweight, I did a form of this to my skinny friends. Not in like a nasty way or like a backhanded way, but I would definitely be like, oh, you're only eating that, or make like little comments here and there, which could also make someone uncomfortable. So I apologize to my friends if I did that, and I knew at that time I did it because I was unhappy with myself. But yeah, so the story that I have for you is after my car accident in late 2015, in early 2016, I moved to Portland, Oregon with my family. And in that time, my husband started watching documentaries and took us on this health and weight loss journey. He's like, we need to be healthy and we should go plant-based and blah, 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 all of this stuff. And to be honest, I was drug into this kicking and screaming. I will tell you honestly, I was like a toddler and I was like, I don't want to do this. This is going to be awful and I hate this. And I cried and it was just a whole big mess. So literally kicking and screaming, but we started doing it. And my husband's like, okay, let's go plant-based. And I flipped out. I was like, I had an angry cry, tried to drive through McDonald's. It was a situation, but I did it. And we went plant-based and we were probably plant-based for a good, I'm going to say 2 years. And it's so easy to do that in Portland, Oregon, because they have a ton of amazing vegan restaurants, by the way. But I would have never thought that I would be plant-based, and it was just, and I felt amazing doing that. Like really, you feel really amazing. Just PS in case you're ever wondering. And now most of the time I stick to about, I'd say 70-ish% plant-based, just simply because of how I feel. Now, then we moved back to Arizona from Oregon, and I moved back, we were plant-based, and one of my friends invited me out to a ladies' Bunco night, which I had never been to a ladies' Bunco night because I was never the cool kid that was invited. So I was invited to a ladies' Bunco night. I was super excited to go. My friend drove, but she was the only person that I knew there. And we'd go to this lady's house who I don't even know her, and I can't even remember her name at this point. And there's probably I'd say 12 or 14 other ladies there. Again, no one that I know except my one friend. And they're doing dinner and drinks and blah, 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 and this and that and the other. And my friend starts to bring it up when the food comes out, and she starts to make her comments about what am I going to eat? And now at this point I wasn't like, I am vegan and I can never eat meat or cheese, like it's not allowed. I wasn't like that at all, and I don't really agree with that like black or white type of a deal. But she starts to loudly talk about what I'm going to eat and that I am vegan, and what I don't really say vegan, I'll say plant-based. I just don't resonate. I think there's a little bit of a difference, and that's my own personal opinion. But I think then she just starts to loudly tell everybody I'm vegan and I can't eat any of this, and what am I going to do? And they start laughing. They're like, I could never do that. What are you going to do for me? And they start laughing at me, including my friend. They're like shaming me for being plant-based, and I'm like, no, I'll eat this. This is fine. I'm like, I'm going to be totally fine. It's not a big deal. She's like, well, aren't you just so afraid that you're just going to gain all your weight back? And she starts really and inside, I'm looking at her in shock. I can't even believe what's happening. Because I'm like, you're literally trying to make me the laughing stock of the whole group, and I don't even know these women. And they're like, and I'm getting really mad, and I'm getting really, really mad, and I can feel that madness of like, when you're really mad, you're like, and you have that sting and you're about to cry, and you're like, don't cry, don't cry, don't cry. And I'm like, okay, thank you. And I had to excuse myself to the bathroom, which I ended up I did that angry cry where the tears were just streaming, and I was patting, and I'm like, I tried to be that dude from whatever that is. It's Mr. T, and he like sucks up his tears back, cloudy with a chance of meatballs, and he like sucks up his tears, right? And I was really trying not to, and I was just so upset that I was like, basically I felt my friend tried to shame me and make me the butt of the joke for doing something that's healthy and making a choice in my life that literally had helped me lose 80 pounds up to that point. And I was just stunned. I was stunned. And I was quiet the rest of the night, and I got home and I looked at my husband and I'm like, I will never go do Bunco again with a group of, I will never go out like that again. I won't ever do it. And I was so upset, and I came home and I cried, and I was like, I don't understand why a group of ladies would do this to somebody when instead just like ask or be curious, or, you don't have to be an asshole about it and like mock someone, first of all, that you don't even know, or mock someone for making a choice in their life that is benefiting them. And later on in life, and again, retrospectively looking at myself, it's more about that person being unhappy with themselves, right? And not really anything to do with you. It did take me time to realize that when people say something, that it's just something that they're unhappy about within themselves, and that they feel they need to say something in order to justify it, or because they feel uncomfortable. And it's because I did those things too. Not as bad as that, not there, but I know that I would make comments to my skinny friends about them being so skinny and not eating anything, and that I like to eat, and I'm thick and I'm fat, and I'm sure at times that was uncomfortable, and it was because I was unhappy with something in myself. Now, also, there's a book called The Blue Zones, which also talks about people who live long lives, long, healthy lives, and what that has to do, what are the contributing factors to that? What they eat, their environment, this and that and the other. And what they continue to find also is that your closest friends, the people you surround yourself with, also have a lot to do with your health. And that just simply makes sense, because if you're hanging out and you have a friend group, what are you doing? If you all have common interests, maybe all of you play hockey, right? So you're all running around playing hockey, or like my friends, we like to do jujitsu. Or if you have friends that literally just want to sit around and eat and drink beer and watch football, then that's what they're going to be doing. So in that book, it actually talks about the statistics that if you have 3 friends that struggle with their weight, that you, again, therefore are going to also struggle with your weight. This goes back to, whatever your mom told you, like your friends, who you hang out with is who you become. It couldn't be more true, especially when it comes to health and weight, because what do? You hang out and either you do healthy things or you do unhealthy things. It can be hard to go back to a friend group that, maybe they party every weekend, or they eat or whatever, and they're not active. That can be difficult to go back to, and can actually lead you back to regaining weight and, slipping back into that lifestyle. So really, when you change to a healthier lifestyle, building that new community, or maybe some of your friends want to do it with you, but having that community of people that are really more about a healthy lifestyle. Yeah, sure, they like to have fun sometimes, but they're not throwing keggers every weekend. They're maybe hiking or doing jujitsu, or, they're out doing things that sound fun, that go with your healthy lifestyle. That's going to be the community that you're really going to want to lean on. If you have friends that shame you for the things that you're doing that are there to help benefit you and to have your healthy lifestyle, my advice is sometimes you got to lose them, and sometimes they just naturally drop off on their own. Because again, what do you have in common? Not much. Okay, now I know that you're an amazing warrior, and if you need an awesome community, I would love to invite you to join the Warrior Tribe, because that's where you belong. It's a tribe full of amazing warrior women just like you, ready to take back control of their weight and their health for good. So I'd love to see you in there. You can join the Warrior Tribe at reneepaulson.com. I thank you so much for being here. I hope that you have a fabulous day. I love you bunches, and I will see you later. Bye-bye.